I already know I'm going to make some people mad with this one, but at a certain point, it is your personal choice to live the way that you live. It gets to a point in life where you can no longer blame your upbringing or your surroundings for how you live your life. Your environment and your upbringing may have shaped you, but continuing to live by those patterns is a choice. Eventually, the responsibility to change becomes your own. Healing is your job and growth is your choice, and it is up to you to grow into the person that you were never taught to become.
Welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about choosing yourself as the main topic of this video. There will be a bunch of compilation videos about choosing yourself and the things that you should do. There comes a moment in every woman's life where she realizes that she has a choice. She gives, she waits, she asks or begs for other people to value her, but then she realized that she has a choice. The choice is to choose herself. This video is about that choice. The choice to set boundaries, the choice to say no, the choice to protect your peace, and the choice to choose yourself. When you choose yourself, you don't have to lose. You gain the life that you were meant to live.
The biggest superpower in life you have is detachment. You are not here to chase someone. You're not here to convince people to love you. You're not here to navigate somebody into your life. The longer they stay, the longer they take up a place of someone who actually wants it. The more attached you are to an outcome, you don't even know what the universe or God has in store for you. The key to detachment is not caring or being aloof. The key to detachment is focusing on you as opposed to them. They are not the reason for you to live. They are not the object of your life. They are not the goal. People who want to be there will be there. If you think that by jumping through hoops and cajoling someone into your life, that's the person for you, that is not the person for you. If you are over apologizing, over analyzing, always waiting on their messages and changing your behavior in order to get attention from them, stop, take a pause. This relationship is not supposed to be like this. Next, flip your mindset. Stop thinking that you need to do everything for them to stay. The faster they go, the quicker you will have room for someone who actually wants to be there. Do the detachment test. If that person actually wants to be there for you, and if you detach and stop initiating, stop chasing, stop running after them for a week, they will still be there in your life. If they do not want to be there, they will disappear. Be brave. Do the detachment test. Stop initiating. Focus on yourself. The reason that you might be in this position is because you don't focus on yourself enough, meaning that there isn't enough in your life for you to even look at. People miss the concept when they say you detach and focus on you. A lot of you guys don't even have things to focus on. That is why you focus on other people. Develop yourself as a character. You are the main character. From now on, your mantra is, I choose myself. I choose myself in everything. I choose myself.
I just saw a girl on here say, I respected myself so much. And I love this. I respected myself so much, I left the man I was in love with. And y'all, that hit deep. Because loving somebody shouldn't mean losing yourself. But sometimes you do lose yourself. You end up ignoring the red flags, making excuses, and hoping that things change. You stay way longer than you should have, just because your heart is still in it. But your heart ain't the only thing that matters. You know, your peace matters. You get it? Your self-worth matters. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away from somebody you still love just to get back to yourself. It don't mean the love wasn't real, at least not on your end. It just means you finally realized if love costs you your peace, that bill is too high. So shout out to every woman who chose respect over attention, peace over pretty promises, and herself over someone who didn't know how to love her right. That kind of strength, that's the real flex.
I totally agree with her, because I feel like whenever you allow certain type of people to fill up the space around you, because those people are not necessarily the best for you and they're weighting you down, you don't realize it, because you are stopping your success, you're stopping your blessing, because these people are going to be there, they will continue to use you. So you have to know when to put those boundaries up. You have to know when to remove yourself from the situation. You have to know when to value yourself, so that you can allow creative people to enter your life, so you can allow the blessing to enter your life.
The way to choose yourself so that you are not focused on being chosen is to give yourself whatever you think this person or this opportunity will give you if they did choose you. What is truly underlying that desire to be chosen? Is it approval? Is it validation? Is it even physical touch? All those things can be given to you by you. And this does not only mean self-sufficiency. What it means is, if this person or this opportunity is not giving you this thing, the way to responsibly take control of that and give it to yourself is to go to someone else who can give it to you. Choosing yourself does not mean only relying on yourself. It does not mean being hyper-individualistic. What it means is knowing where your energy flows and where you can have the better chance of getting what you truly desire because you're worthy of it, and going there instead of staying in something that is not giving you what you desire. Because when you stay with people or opportunities that are not giving you what you truly desire, what you're saying to yourself subconsciously is that you don't think you are actually worthy of getting these things that you want. You are not choosing yourself, you are abandoning yourself. And of course, this is just from my own experience and the things I've learned in therapy. But choosing yourself is about acknowledging and accepting your desires and saying no to whatever or whoever can't give you them without making it an issue of your self-worth.
A huge act of self-care is when you decide to no longer pursue the attention of someone who isn't emotionally available to you. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. One of the bravest acts you can do is walk away from someone who you care about and who you have feelings for, who cannot meet your most basic needs, because you have to face the unknown. You have to face the fear that you might be alone, or it might take you a lot longer than what you're comfortable with to meet someone else. But one of the best decisions you will ever make for your overall well-being is to only engage in connections with people who, when you're around them, it feels really sweet to your nervous system, and you really always know where you stand with them.
A man will never think twice of hurting your feelings. One thing about it, two things for sure, they're going to choose themselves and their happiness at whatever cost. Something that I notice is that a lot of women know exactly what they want. They just stop the process or alter their thinking into doing the thing they want because of a man's feelings. It is so understandable and so great of you to not want to hurt a man's feelings. Let me be the first to tell you, it is not. A man will make you think whatever he wants you to think. You think he's not talking to anybody and it's only you, and you just have to make this choice and make it final, and he probably so while you're over here combusted and you're over here battling what to do, he's making it seem like he's just anticipating this answer, because if not, he'll just shamble. When in reality, he's having his way with them and he's having his way with you. Another scenario is when they try to come back and you don't know whether or not to accept them. They hurt your feelings, they had you down out bad, and you just had to sit there on the sidelines for who knows how long until he was ready to actually invest in you, to want you, to actually try to like you. And you're combattled if you should let him in or not. Babe, he left you because he chose his feelings. He wanted that other girl and he wanted to have his cake and eat it too, and he hurt your feelings in the process. They always choose themselves. Choose yourself. Stop making it hard, because I promise you they are doing what they want to do on the sidelines. I think mentality is what makes these scenarios so different. Women don't think like men. Men do not think like women. Men realize they miss a woman 5-6 months after. Women realize they miss a man 5-6 seconds after. Men aren't thinking right then and there. They do what they want to do. Women think right then and there. So they think about the man's feelings. That's why they hesitate on doing what they want to do. That's why they always come back to you, because they miss you, because they didn't think of you right then and there. You see what I'm saying? It's just our nature to think of someone else. It's our nature to want to do the right thing behind somebody else's feelings. But you can do it in a way that benefits you and you're still being respectful to that person. But at the end of the day, do what you want to do. And hey, who says you got to make a decision to begin with? I say keep having your way. I say keep doing what you want to do until you just have to make that decision. And when you do, then follow those steps. Because babe, life is too short to be stressed out about people who are not stressed out about you. Take with it as you will. That's just me. Don't be stressed. Because I promise you, they doing what they want to do. Peace, love, and applesauce. Bye.
Listen, getting up and going to work is hard, but being broke is hard. Going to the gym is hard, but being out of shape, not feeling comfortable in your body is hard. Budgeting is hard, but living paycheck to paycheck is hard. Being disciplined is hard, but living with regret is hard. Healing is hard, but being stuck is hard. Putting that phone down is hard, but being overstimulated and restless is also hard. Now, setting boundaries is hard, but being walked all over, that's hard. Being alone, I know it sucks. It's so hard, but being with the wrong person, that's a tough job. That is hard. Cutting off the distractions is hard, but delaying your future is also hard. Choosing yourself is hard, but abandoning your potential, that's way too hard. Choose your hard. There is always a price to pay. You pay now or you pay later.
To walk away from someone you care about who cannot meet your needs is one of the bravest acts you can do. And it doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. In fact, it's not even about them. They could be a really good person. And that's why walking away can be so hard. And by the way, by walking away, you're doing them a favor as well. And this is honestly what it means to choose yourself. It just means recommitting yourself to the life that you know you must lead. And it's getting really honest with yourself and being able to finally admit that the life that you're meant to lead can't be done if you're in a relationship with this person. But when your habit is to stay too long and you know this is wrong, it is an act of true bravery and courage to walk away.
Start choosing yourself. Every time you choose somebody else over you, you abandon yourself once again. And you do this process so much that it becomes a habit of abandoning yourself. And now you're putting strangers' feelings and emotions before your own, whether they're right or wrong. Now that you have no identity, you also have no boundaries. Here's what's crazy. One of the most popular books in America is The 48 Laws of Power. What does that tell you about the majority of people? That means there's a lot of people out there that are seeking power. So check this out. Usually the people that are seeking power don't have any power in their own lives. So if you give someone like this a false sense of power, they're going to take it and run with it, even though they know it's not real and even though you know it's not real. Every time you validate or make excuses for their bad behavior because you want to assume everyone is a good person like you, further reinforces to them that you're somebody they can take from. It's sad to say, but it's well known that many insecure people with an inferiority complex seek superiority complexes to compensate for their inferiority thoughts about themselves. So even though you may want to be a friend to all and people should want to be a friend back, you forget not everybody has good intentions or even the ability to perceive somebody would even think like that. Because to them that's weak, but that's what makes them weak, because they don't have compassion. Take off the cape and stop trying to save everybody and save yourself for once. If you feel guilty for choosing yourself, this is because you reinforce the behavior of putting people before you for far too long. You deserve to be happy and you deserve to be put first. Fear or worry about another person's emotions or perceptions of you is putting them first. What they think of you is more important to you than what you think of you. Instead of you having the mentality of take it or leave it. This is what I am, this is who I am, and I love myself. And if you don't like me, that's your loss. And if you try to start a problem with me, I will defend myself because I love myself and I choose me. Your job isn't to make an angry person feel better because of their own perceptions and their own insecurities. That's a them problem. But if you're still putting their emotions before your own, soon you will think you're responsible for their anger and you need to appease it. Some people learn that from childhood from very strict parents and it bleeds into their adulthood. If you've had that process and pattern your entire childhood, yeah, it might turn into a habit when you're an adult and now you're doing it with other people. The way to start choosing yourself is to do it every single day. If you don't want to be that person's friend, but they want to be your friend, stop being their friend because you know they're no good for you. Maybe your relationship is based off of you putting their emotions before yours and they never do it back for you. Stop being their friend if you don't want to be their friend. That's choosing you. If somebody touches you and you don't want to be touched, you say, hey, don't touch me like that. That's choosing you, not their emotions and going, oh, they just didn't know. That's choosing them. Every time you ignore yourself, your body is screaming at you, and it's called anxiety. How long are you going to have fears or worries about someone's emotions from the past instead of your own emotions for right now? Stop judging yourself for not being perfect enough for someone's warped reality. You are perfect the way you are. You just need to find yourself again. And you do that by choosing yourself every single time. Let people down. Say no. Because those that can respect your boundaries will be in your life at the end of the day, because that's a healthy relationship. If someone has a problem with you having boundaries, they're the problem. Goodbye. Stay lit.
And another thing, take care of yourself so you don't become a hater. Internally, but also physically. Get closer to God. Love yourself, get to know yourself, get to love yourself, get to know how to love yourself. But very importantly is also externally, okay? Get to know what you love about yourself and your futures and how to enhance those things. So you don't become that girl that look at the next girl and say, oh, she thinks she cute. She thinks she all that. Why are you always dressed up? Why do you always have makeup on? Take care of yourself so you don't become that girl. Because she is who she thinks she is, all right? She's taking care of herself. She's going to the gym. She's reading her Bible. She's doing the self-work. She's taking care of her body. She's doing the skincare things. You know, all of that. You are the problem, not her. When you have to question another person's behavior because they're looking different than you, because they're doing a little bit more than you, then you have to stop projecting and look internally and work on that.
If you feel like you fell off as a woman, I'm going to give you some tips to get back on track. These are going to be simplistic tips that you can do and start today. The first thing that you are going to do is get a notebook or your iPhone, whatever is more convenient, and you are going to write down the woman that you desire to be. You don't necessarily have to give it a timeline, but you do need to put in detail how you want her to look, how you want her to talk, how you want her to show up, the amount of money that she has in her bank account, the car that she is driving, the education that she has. Go in as much detail as you possibly can. Once you start to write those things down, then brainstorm about how to get there. Does she wake up at 6 a.m. to get to her workout? Does she take night classes to finish her degree? Does she stop using profanity? Does she stop giving her energy to certain people? Now, for the how, don't beat yourself up if you can't figure out all the details on how to get there. Just jot down what you know. When you are jotting things down, don't say I want, say I desire. By saying that I want, you are telling the universe that you don't have it. And everything that you need in this life is already given to you. So I desire to become this woman. You do all this, I want you to screenshot it and put it as your iPhone screensaver. What's the good in saying all these things, but not having a place to remind yourself of them every single day? Once you completed all those steps, I want you to get to work, because faith without works is dead. Whenever you start to get discouraged or influenced to do something different, remind yourself by locking your phone screen and read off why you're actually doing it. Your future self will thank you.
You don't want them. You want them to want you, because your abandonment wounds from childhood made you hyperfixated on being chosen. So how do I love myself? How do I choose myself? This is the overwhelming question that you guys keep leaving in the comments. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. For me, the biggest way that I started choosing myself was to learn when to let go. You choose yourself by choosing all of you. Right now, the majority of us choose certain parts of us that have been deemed acceptable, that have been validated throughout our life. But the parts that we find hard to choose are our shadow aspects, the parts of us that we shove down, the painful parts, the ugly parts. That's the part that we have to choose in order to be confident in relationships. Here's an example from my own personal experiences. So when I would date in the past, I would not choose myself when it came time for maybe a kiss or some intimacy. Someone would interact it and I wasn't ready. I would still go on and do it, even though I wasn't ready, because I was so scared that if I didn't do it, they wouldn't choose me. I was so scared that if I didn't abandon myself and what I really wanted to do, if I didn't abandon my own needs and boundaries, that I would be abandoned by them. So that obviously caused a lot of pain over and over. I kept doing things that I didn't really want to do, and then I would expect stuff and get attached, and then it wouldn't happen, and I kept blaming the other person, but the person who needed to take control and choose me was me. I had to finally see this pattern. When I do stuff, when I'm intimate before I'm ready, it turns out really bad. So I have to set boundaries and be willing to say, fine, you can walk away. I'm not ready to do this, but if you need this right now, you can walk away. I choose me.
Nothing can prepare you for the pain that comes with letting go of somebody that you still love. This is a tough one. It gets to the point where you either let go or you get dragged. And baby, you know when you've been getting dragged. You look at yourself in the mirror, you see the pain all over your face, you see the tears that are basically stained on your cheeks at this point. You gotta accept that this chapter of your life has to come to an end. You've spent far too much time in a situation that has been draining you. I know you want so bad for things to change and work out, and you just want to be happy, but the love that you desire, the life that you desire, it isn't here anymore. Where you're at right now is only resulting in stress and hurt and confusion. And you got to ask yourself, the situation that I'm in right now, the way that I'm feeling, the love that I'm receiving, is this what I want for the rest of my life? That should tell you a lot. And sure, there may still be love there, but unfortunately, love is not enough, and you learn that throughout life. And sometimes you just gotta say, hey, you know what? I love you, and I have stayed, and I have waited for things to change, and I've cried enough to fill an ocean. I've begged, I've pleaded, I've done all the things. I've tried my best with this, and I have held on for dear life. But before this destroys me, before I'm not even able to recognize myself anymore, I've got to let this go. And whether it's you deciding to leave or it's them, you step back and you let things be what they are. It's going to be one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do. And guess what? It's not going to feel good. It's going to feel like somebody punched through your chest, ripped your heart out, threw it on the ground, jumped at it a few times and told you, pick it up, bitch, and go. And what are you going to do? You're going to go. Yes, you are. You're going to go and you're going to be with yourself and you're going to feel the emotions as they come and go, and you can cry it out as much as you need to, but you're not going to let it stop you. This isn't the end of your life. You're going to spend time with your loved ones. You're going to get back to your hobbies. You're going to work on yourself and love yourself and heal and fill your own cup back up until it overflows, and you're going to get on with your life. Okay, you were somebody before this person. You had a life before this person. God didn't place you here for the sole purpose of being someone's girlfriend or wife or boyfriend or husband, whoever's watching this, whatever, I don't know. There are greater things meant for you in this life, but it takes letting go of what's no longer serving you for you to get there. A lesson that I'm learning, and everyone's going to have to learn at some point in their life. And it's going to suck for a while, and you're going to question yourself, and you're going to question if you made the right decision, but things do get better with time, and you will get to a point where you'll be able to look back and you'll realize why this decision was necessary. Choosing yourself will always be the best option.
I feel like every category in life is designed to test if you'll finally pick yourself, and every time you do, you close a karmic loop and move one step closer to sovereignty. So majority of romantic situations actually test if you'll betray your standards just to feel chosen. Family dynamics usually test if you'll abandon your boundaries just to keep the peace. Work usually tests if you'll ignore your purpose for a sense of safety. And friendships usually test if you will shrink to avoid feeling like too much. So choosing yourself is not selfish. It's actually a portal to a new timeline. That is why you should always put yourself first.
I made a video about how to stop feeling guilty for choosing yourself. And I positioned that you have to start with making small choices. So this question is, can you give an example of small ways to choose yourself? I'm just going to do a rapid fire list of things that I can think of at the top of my mind. Here we go. Not responding to calls, text messages, or notifications until you feel ready to respond to them. Noticing when you feel uncomfortable in your environment and making small changes, like maybe a temperature change or grabbing a blanket or turning on some music. This is going to sound simple, but we neglect this often. Paying attention to body cues, like when you're tired or when you have to go to the bathroom or when you're hungry, and following up with those cues when they're present rather than ignoring them. Taking a break when you feel overstimulated. Intentionally asking yourself throughout your day, what do I need right now? What do I want right now? And just paying attention to what feedback you get from your mind and body. Saying, I'll think about it or I'll get back to you, rather than saying yes or no when someone asks you to make an immediate decision. This one takes a little bit more effort, but I call this time budgeting. So I have figured out a system that works for me using my calendar, and I've come up with different systems for different people depending on their work style. But the overall purpose is to budget and allocate your time to certain things, kind of the way you would budget and allocate money to certain things. It doesn't always work perfectly, and I don't care that it doesn't always work perfectly. I'm not looking for that. I'm really looking to have a relationship with my time and a ledger for how I'm spending my time. That keeps me accountable to my choices, because if we break choices down to an even smaller molecule, it's time. It's how are you choosing to spend your time? Who are you choosing to spend your time with? So a simple way of choosing yourself might be to just start auditing how you're spending your time and start being conscious and aware of how you're spending your time. Don't feel pressure to do everything that I've said on this list. Honestly, pick one. Just pick one. I'll tell you what I started with. It was taking naps. When I was working a corporate job, I would have meetings and they would just stress and drain the hell out of me, and I'd go in the quiet room and take a nap. That one skill made me aware of my energy in a lot of ways that made me modify how I was spending my time. I no longer work in corporate America because I realized, why is my work draining me so badly that I have to take a nap after having conversation? This is not sustainable. You don't have to do everything right. You just need to start and keep practicing.
Babes, I know this hurts. They had a right not to choose you. They had a right not to choose you, babes. No one is required to choose you, your feelings, your emotions, your well-being. But when people don't choose you, that's helpful information, because it shows you how you need to respond to them now. When people don't choose you, it's an opportunity for you to release yourself from, see, the wind just started picking up right when I said that, so I know I'm talking right. Release yourself from the expectations that you had on the relationship. To release yourself from expecting the way that you entreat others for that person to entreat you the same way. So it helps you to obliterate the expectation of reciprocity, which is a radical act of sacred abundance. It helps you to release the expectation of synergy, to know that this person is not aligned with you. So why am I going to continue to try to coerce you into being into a healthy relationship with me? Being in a relationship with me is a privilege, and it's also consensual. I'm not going to force myself on anyone. And so I'm so happy and grateful that I have learned to observe when people don't choose me, to respond to their lack of choosing me, and to release that connection. So I want you to know that you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't deserve that treatment. You only expected a certain level of behavior from them because there was a lot of yapping, a lot of lip service, a lot of perpetrating about how deeply you were connected, but it was one-sided that whole time. And so you don't have to look back and regret. I don't believe in regret. I believe that everything comes to us when we need it, to teach us, to reflect back to us, to mirror to us something that we need to know. And so you look back on it with gratitude, You feel your anger, your rage, your grief. Let it pummel you momentarily. And then you let it pass and you let it go and you bless it and you send it on its way. Just like you bless and send those people on their way. Because at the end of the day, they had a right to not choose you. But once they show that they don't choose you, babes, you choose yourself.
Nothing more powerful and beautiful than seeing a woman pick herself up and level up after someone tried everything they could to tear her down. You still won, baby girl.
So whenever you decide to choose yourself, because you are now taking your health seriously, you're now choosing who comes into your circle, you are now deciding to love on a more organic level, I feel like you decide to change your destiny. Because if you still make the same choices that you are making now, which is not choosing yourself, do you think you're going to become the best version that you could be? So remember, ladies, follow your heart, protect your peace, love wisely, and honor your health.